Hi, at the Woodpecker today. I continue working on my mitre saw station. In my last episode, I managed to finish the station skeleton, but I still have a lot to do before I can call it quits. First, I need to do something to hold the bottom shelf. So I cut a bunch of 1-inch strips. Then I cut them to the opening size and drill some chamfer holes. Now I can glue and screw them in place. While I'm at it, I install a center divider into the big section to hold the drawers slides later on. I also install some strips on the side for the slides too. Before going any further, I varnish all of them. Now I can cut pieces of plywood for the lower shelves. I don't know the height of the central shelves, so I drill a bunch of holes for some adjustable shelves. Without the top and bottom, it's much easier to drill those holes. The last thing to do is to chamfer those holes. Now I can cut the tops. I begin with the center one. The one which supports the saw. Then I can lay the saw on top of it. By moving the angle arm, I can find the right placement of the saw. Then we can cut the two other top pieces. Because of the arm position at 60 degrees, I need to cut a notch. Now it can turn all the way. But the back of the saw won't let me turn to the opposite 50 degrees. But this cut is too complicated to be marked directly on the plywood. I use a piece of cardboard to trace its shape before I cut it. Now I can check the cut. And it's perfect. Now I must do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm ready to glue the formica. Darn, that was not a good idea to unroll it that way. This was perfect before. Lucky for me, I bought much more than what I need. Because of that, I asked René to hold the small piece when I cut the sheet to smaller pieces. Now I can spread contact cement on the back of the formica and on the plywood. After 15 minutes or so, the glue is dry and I spread a second coat on both surfaces. After another 15 minutes, I lay some stickers on the plywood before laying the formica on them. After placing the formica at the right spot, I remove the center sticker and press both surfaces together. I glue the formica from the center up to the sides. Now I can cut the excess with a palm router. I want a solid hardwood edge, so I cut some edging. Then I mark and make all the domino mortises to align them together. Then I glue and clamp the edgings. When the glue is dry, I glue some formica edging on the exposed plywood's edge. To remove the excess, I used a combination of a router and a rasp. And yes, I also managed to damage the top. This won't probably be the last time. Then I can sand the wood. To protect the formica, I clamp a piece of wood on it. Next, I route a round-over profile on the edges. Before screwing both tops in place, I install the drawer slides. Without the top, it's a piece of cake. Before screwing the bottom shelf, I fill up my mistake with construction glue. I left an accessible dust extractor input just under the central section. Now I must extend it to the top. I drill a small pilot hole so I can locate the big hole from both sides, and drill the dust extractor hole. I make sure the pipe fits and cut the pipe in two. Then I can insert the flexible hoses adapter. This time, I follow the advice I received last time and ate the hose. This went much better than the last time. Now I can install and screw both tops. And hook up the dust collector hose. And finally, put the saw in place. But it doesn't fit. The solid edge won't let me push the saw in place, and on top of it all, I forgot to cut a corner notch. After cutting it, I glue some Formica edging again. Now I can mark the position of the anchor bolts. And drill them. Then I can screw the saw in place. Finally, I can try it and see that everything is perfect. So now I can start using the saw to finish the mitre station. But this will only happen in the next episode of the Woodpecker.